Joker Folie A Deux released this past weekend to, let's just say, less than stellar reviews.
You suck!
And less than stellar box office results. On this review, you will hear opinions on both sides of the spectrum.
Fair.
Is all the hate justified? Does Christian Bale make an appearance?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Will Ben Affleck make an appearance?
Why did you say that name?
Full disclosure, I am not the biggest fan of the first Joker film that dropped in 2019. I don't want to take anything away from it. It certainly has its fans. The acting was top-notch. The portrayal of Joker might be the second best portrayal of Joker we've ever gotten. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is an excellent actor. I don't think you're going to get an argument from anybody saying that. But the film itself was really dark and hard, tough to watch. I'll just word it that way. But like I said, there's a big fan base behind that film. Obviously, we have someone joining us here today, the Joker's anarchy, if you will. Once again, the portrayal was great. I mean, I love Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. Whatever people loved so much about that first film did not carry over to this sequel.
It doesn't look like it, huh?
No. I mean, the film itself was already divided critically and by the fans as well. So you're taking a film that you made $1 billion, which is understandable. Of course, we're going to make a sequel for that.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. You knew that was going to come, whether he wanted to make it or not.
Here we are. And it does really, truly feel like a film that we just made because, the first one made $1 billion instead of let's make this sequel because we really have a story to tell. What do you guys think?
In regards to the first movie, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, I wasn't sure at first because, I wanted a Joker that was more somewhere between like Nicholson and Heath Ledger. That's really what I was hoping it would be. I mean, because those are my two favorite Jokers. Okay. And then probably Hakeem comes in now. We didn't get that. So I kind of just opened myself up to the story and what they were trying to do with it. I do think it's a great movie, the first one. Trying to follow up Heath Ledger. I mean, that's almost impossible, right? Jack Nicholson was my Joker for the longest time, from 89 to probably 2010, because at first, I liked Heath Ledger's, but it was like, well, there's no acid bath. They're going against all this canon that's out there. But then like the second time I watched it, I was like, you know what? This is pretty amazing. A year and a half later, it's like, okay, that's my favorite Joker. And I wanted Hakeem to be something, and that's not what we got. But I went ahead and embraced it, and I thought it was a great movie. The new one, it's a well-made film. It looks great. It sounds great. I'm not into musicals. I'm not into Lady Gaga. I don't like pop music. I don't like a lot of the script. I don't even mind the ending. Put the guy out of his misery. Put half of DC fan base out of their misery too.
I really enjoyed the first one. That's like a 10 out of 10 movie for me almost, I really, really enjoy it. I think it's more so not about the Joker persona, but more so about like mental struggles within Arthur. And then he unlocks the Joker persona. But then in the second movie, I expected more of the Joker. And it almost seems like we got less of that Joker persona and more of Arthur, which I guess I'm okay with. And for people who are like, oh man, they made it a musical, like this is so stupid. They told us like 3 years ago that they were going to make it a musical. So
yeah, I was ready for that part.
Right. For the people on the internet that are crying about that, I'm like, we already knew it was a musical. So like you said, I'm not really into musicals. I didn't think it was terrible though. They could have left a couple songs like out. I would have been okay with that. But yeah, I thought Gaga as Harley Quinn, she did well. She's just like super underutilized in the movie.
Dude, how much did they leave on the cutting room floor of her?
Had to be tons.
Oh, dude, I mean, so many of the scenes that we expected to see, they weren't there. I saw somebody saying, release the Gaga cut.
Oh, geez. As far as the musical bit goes, yes, we have had a very long heads up. Like, hey, guys, this is going to be a musical. But even having that heads up doesn't mean that it was the right decision. I think, like you guys said, and we're not all going to agree on this. I mean, of course, we're all different. We all take films in differently, right? But there was a couple musical beats that I really enjoyed. One was the one where he literally starts beating the judge over the head with that oversized.
Oh yeah, that was a
mallet.
good number.
That was just bonkers, you know, like, and that's what the Joker movie needed. I do think that they overdid the singing part a bit, kind of like what you alluded to, Angelo. Here's the problem with the musical bit. And somebody brought this up online, somebody that I watched, but I can't remember who it was, someone on YouTube. But they said that a film like Les Mis, if you take out all the musical bits, you will not understand the plot of the film. Like, it just doesn't make sense anymore. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't particularly like musicals. I was in musicals when I was in high school, but I don't love musicals by any means. With this film, if you take out all the musical bits, it still makes perfectly good sense. And to me, that's saying that it didn't really need the musical stuff in it.
Probably not. Referring to the musical bits, you know, I think they were all fine for what they were, for being show tunes or whatever they were calling a jukebox, whatever. I thought the numbers were fine. And it's just, sometimes I felt like I was enduring them. Other times it was like, you know, it was cool. At the end of the day, I could have done without it. I mean, maybe a couple would have been perfect. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping there would be like just a couple of numbers, you know, and a couple of his fantasies or whatever. And then we could get back to Arthur, like maybe becoming the Joker instead of rejecting the Joker.
Yes. And that right there is probably my biggest issue with the film. It felt like he did a 180 as a character. And it literally brought us back to the beginning of the first Joker film before he got humiliated and embarrassed and murdered for no reason. And people have talked about, oh, the other guy might be Heath Ledger's Joker because he cut his mouth or whatever. But who cares at this point? Like, I just hated the ending. What did you guys think about the ending? Am I off base here?
He was going to get the chair. So I don't know if it was really necessary to do that. It kind of felt maybe a little gratuitous or a little just, you know, trying to be edgy, or Todd Phillips just trying to be like, look, I'm done. You know, one of those. I heard he didn't even want to make this movie.
Which would not surprise me.
I guess I'm okay with it, really. I would like to not to have been. That's not the movie I would have made. That's not how I would have ended it. But killing him off, I mean, I guess I'm neutral about it. I'd rather them not to have. I'm one of those people that haven't caused a big stink about him being killed in the end.
I think that he did it probably just so that he didn't have to make another sequel.
Yeah, he didn't want to do Hangover 3.
Personally, myself, my interpretation of it is that the Joker isn't a person. He's more of just like a persona. So he can go from person to person.
A state of mind.
Exactly. So when his followers saw that he was no longer the Joker, well, they need someone else to lead them. So someone stepped up to the plate. So it could be any version of the Joker you want it to be realistically. But more than likely, it's probably so he didn't have to do another movie.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't hate the ending. I didn't hate what they did. I would rather them not to have done it. But in the end, I guess I'm fine with it. That's not one of my critiques about it. My critiques are in other places.
What do you think your critiques were, Mr. Joker's Anarchy?
Well, the way that Gaga just bailed, it's like, why was she even there?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be some version of Harley Quinn. I mean, okay, so I get it. She fell in love with the Joker, and Arthur said he wasn't Joker. Okay, fine. Gaga was just underutilized, and Harley, and the way that they just got rid of Harley there at the end is like, it didn't make any sense to me. Why was she there? I guess she was there to give Joker hope and want to, not be alone anymore, right? But other than that, they turned her just into like a device, a plot device, instead of a character that they could have actually used and explored and did some cool stuff with.
But it's also no surprise that Todd Phillips didn't want to stick closely to the source material.
I understand that. I'm fine with that, but do something with her,
Yeah.
And then at the end, she just walks away. It's like, what was the other version of the film where they're on the steps together and the two cops from the first movie are at the very top and they're surrounded by the police, both of them? Where's that version? Maybe that's the version we need to see, and not this one where she walks away and Arthur just crumbles meekly. Right after he had a chance to get away. I thought that was so awesome, at the jailbreak. It's like, all right, now let's get down to business. Let's turn this into, an actioneer for at least 10 minutes, right? For the climactic ending. And nah, psych.
Yeah, that would have been a much more fitting ending, I think, like them running from the police and getting, shot down. That would have been much more
Bonnie and
satisfying.
Clyde. Oh, yeah, shoot that car up.
Yeah, most movies have a crescendo, like it builds towards a crescendo, and it hit that crescendo when the courtroom blew up, and then it just flattened out. It was very weird.
Totally, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it would have been much more fitting at that point for Harley to be the one that picked him up and then them just driving down the interstate and going crazy and eventually getting shot down. I think I personally, even though, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the first Joker film, that would have been something that I wanted to see. But here we are.
Yeah, I don't think they gave a crap what we wanted to see. I mean, not in the least. I understand dude is a filmmaker and maybe he considers himself an artist that's above fan service or even throwing in like some good solid Easter eggs for the people that have been following these characters for years. But I mean, give us a little something. I mean, we got a little something in the first movie, I thought. I don't want to consider myself like just a run of the mill comic book movie guy because I actually have like 10,000 comic books. So I'm a super geek when it comes to comic books and stuff. Okay, at least give us a little something. Like I said, I thought the first movie had a little something that actually was made for us, for the people that were the true believers. But in this movie, I mean, there's really not much there for the true believers.
I would agree with that. The only thing, and then I keep thinking as you're talking about this, Joker's Anarchy, I keep thinking like of that meme that you see where you see the Pawn Stars and he's like, the best we can do is putting in Harvey Dent as the district attorney. That's
and
the
blowing
only
up half the space. It's the best we can do, which I did think was cool.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
That might be the only Easter egg that we get.
Yeah, that was like the only fan service I feel like in the whole movie.
You know, I don't need served. I don't need it brought up on a platter to me, you know. But I mean, don't forget that the history of the character already. I mean, you already pretty much rewrote the character for the first movie. Okay, can we go with that character and can we morph him a little bit into something, you know, that actually looks like the Joker and acts like the Joker? Because when he's on Murray Franklin, that's a strong Joker vibe right there. You know, That's very strong Joker vibe. In this movie, I mean, a few times in the courtroom, I felt it. I felt some Joker vibe when they flashed right to that scene where he's just sitting there. The first time he's in court in makeup, I laughed out loud in the theater.
Yes, that's one thing I'll say. There was a lot more funny moments in this one versus the first one, which I enjoyed. I'm not saying that I wanted things to be more lighthearted, but as far as all the jokes that he made about the little person,
Gary,
as far as that, I really found myself enjoying a lot of that.
Right, and he's coming with that accent when he's playing the Southern lawyer. Mm-hmm. You know, and there was some stuff in there that I laughed at, some dark humor, and my girlfriend's like, you know, we were the only ones laughing at this. I was, oh, were we?
Like I said, that's the only little bit that I enjoyed. The rest, I mean, it was kind of more the same and honestly worse.
Towards the end of the movie, when Gaga changed when she did her like transformation really into Harley Quinn in front of the mirror, like I liked her outfit a lot. I liked that scene. And then when she cut her hair, I thought she looked even more like Harley Quinn to me. And I was just upset that we didn't see more of her that way.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was showtime, dude.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it was like LFG, let's do it.
I thought she was the one who blew up the courthouse at first. Like, no, you are the Joker and you're coming with me.
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
That's what needed to happen, honestly, but it didn't. You know, I don't know what the message of the film really was. I've seen people online that speculate if this was commentary on toxic male masculinity or if this was like another girl boss type situation at the end. I personally didn't get that when I watched it the first time, but it is really pathetic to see the person who's supposed to be the protagonist of the film, even though he's not a good guy, you're still rooting for the Joker. And it's just pathetic to see things like him lasting 3 seconds when they have sex. You know, it just feels like they were really like taking him down like 10 pegs. By the end of the film, he's just this pathetic excuse of a human who gets stabbed to death by some random nobody.
Yeah, I was hoping that all the times he'd been dumped on, even worse in this movie. I mean, because a lot of that movie was hard to watch, some of the abuse he was taking. So I was hoping, you know, it was going to come down to where he was going to get his day. You know, I was hoping that was coming. When the courtroom blew up, I thought that was it. I didn't know where it was going to go from there, but it didn't really go anywhere after that.
Yeah, at least let the guy last a couple minutes in the bedroom. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no need to emasculate him, right?
So with all that being said, if you guys had to rate this film on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being unwatchable, terrible, I'd never want to see it again, and 10 being perfect, where would you rank it? We'll start off with you, Mr. Angelo.
I would give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's as bad as what the internet is really making it out to be. like I said, the musical stuff, it's okay with me. I can take it or leave it. I watched the movie in a different way than I normally would a Batman Joker type movie. That it's more like an art house film than it really is a Joker style. So I think I had a different mindset going into it. Also, all that negative commentary about it made me think it was going to be worse than it was. So I think my score's a little higher because of the internet, to be honest with you.
It's almost like your way of saying, hey, screw you, internet.
I'm gonna be the edgy guy and say I like this movie.
Okay, what would you rank it?
Well, I didn't like it that much. I was imitating Angelo. No, but seriously, I agree. I think a 6 is actually a good rating because there's a lot in that movie that I think is good. Okay, I've watched a lot of movies over the years, and I mean it's well lit, it's shot great. Todd Phillips has a great eye. He's a great director. I haven't seen any of the Hangover movies, so I haven't. All I've seen is Joker and this movie by Todd Phillips.
Whoa. You've never seen the first Hangover film?
Nope, haven't seen it.
Paging Dr. Faggot.
I should go.
That's a good idea, Dr. Faggot.
You've got to see that movie. It is, I mean, all films are subjective, but in my opinion, that's probably the top 5 best comedy movie of all time. I mean,
obviously it did something right. And I don't know, I'm not really into comedies and I was never anywhere when anybody was watching it. And so that would have had to been me seeking it out. And I never really sought it out. To humor you, I'll go ahead and watch it.
You should.
But I'll tell you what, I'm not into comedies, but I do like a funny movie. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like something I really search out. It's weird.
Everybody's got their own preference. That's fine. Hey, some people are even weirder and don't like superhero movies. I mean, can you even imagine?
Dude, I mean, we're talking blocked and reported there. So yeah, and as for this movie, I mean, I feel good saying it's a 6 out of 10 because all those things I just said, I think the movie is put together great. I mean, and as far as a musical goes, I think I guess those are great musical bits. I guess. Okay, I mean, she's a great vocalist. I've never listened to her. Only time I've heard Gaga was when I was at the gym or in the car with my girlfriend. That's the only time. But for everything that I liked about the movie, there's always something that's counteracting it. There's something always holding it back. I mean, a 6 might even be generous. I'm definitely going to watch it again. I'll probably watch it a few more times before I pass final judgment on it because being as I am a super fan, I'm not invested in this, anymore. Some people were really living for this movie. Okay. So obviously I associate with a lot of super fans and you probably do too, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's some people that their hearts were broken by this movie. This one girl's not even going to do Gaga's Harley anymore because she hated that movie so bad. And she just did 3 different versions that she saw in trailers from the movie. And I'm not invested like that. And then after seeing what he did with it, I'm going to look at it and try to critique it even more. I didn't like the script. I didn't like this version of it. They were close to making this a great movie. I feel like they could have changed a few things and this could have been a great movie. I really think it could have been, but it definitely was not a great movie. I got to go with good.
I think both of you guys are crazy because this is what I have.
Well, I mean, you're probably right on this end.
For the uninitiated, I have a list in my phone of every comic book movie ever ranked, right? And when I put it on that list, I have to start sorting through, okay, well, is it a 4? Well, I have X-Men The Last Stand in the 4s. So X-Men The Last Stand is a better movie to me than this film. So I got to go down to the 3s. And then in the 3.5, that's where I have the first Joker, which is controversial. A lot of people have that in their top 10, whatever. But like I said, I didn't have a fun experience with that first movie. So it's not as good to me as the first Joker. So where I have this movie ranked is all the way down at a 2.5. Where it's on the list right now, it is right below X-Men Origins Wolverine at a 2.5. Wow. And that's just me personally. Like I said,
don't be hating on my Gambit cosplay.
You know what? There's a lot of great things from that movie as well. Just like with this movie, I enjoyed some of the humor in the courtroom. I even liked some of the musical bits. I didn't think that absolutely killed the movie, but it also did not service the movie as much as they advertised that it would. So that's kind of where I'm at with the film. Let us know in the comments below where you guys think this film should be ranked. Angelo, Joker's Anarchy, where can we find you on social media?
Well, you can find me on TikTok, Past Cornelius Point. I'm also on Instagram, same handle. Stuff down there, man. I do a lot of reviews on movies and superhero stuff, just like Jonathan does.
He's been on the show a few times, and we're definitely going to be bringing him back again. Mr. Joker's Anarchy, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at The Joker's Anarchy on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on Twitter and TikTok, but I'm not overly active. But definitely on IG and Facebook, you can find me at The Joker's Anarchy.
Fun fact, I actually met Joker's Anarchy in real life at the theater in Ohio, where I'm currently working at right now. He was cosplaying at the time. He was Magneto, and a couple of his friends there. I had one of the friends already on the show, Brad. Yeah, he came on the show, and it was a blast. We did a live stream. So we will definitely be seeing more of Mr. Joker's Anarchy. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Real Comic Book Cinema. We're on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We're on Amazon Music. Check us out in the other interwebs. And until next time, have a good one.